My mother was supposed to go on a first date with Ron. He would come to pick her up, meet me, and they would go to an early dinner. The neighbors were home if I needed anything. I was old enough now, 7, to stay alone in the house for 2 hours, but the details were still a negotiation. And afterwards, I was supposed to be in bed before she returned. I guess we might come back, she said. I made her promise they wouldn't go into her room, and for some reason she agreed. Since she'd become interested in Ron, she no longer paid attention to me as astutely as I thought. She no longer consulted the I Ching. She was half absent with happiness, the same slight smile on her lips as when she ran up the hill to get that prickly pear. It was between boyfriends, between the loneliness and despair that followed one and the lift that began at the next, where I hoped to stay forever. She and I, the only team, the real couple. On the night of the date, Ron arrived on time. She was leaning over the bathroom sink, doing her makeup when he knocked. I ran to the open door. I saw right away that Ron wasn't a hippie. He was bald, with hair tufted on the sides like a clown's, and had wide, bushy eyebrows, glasses rimmed with gold, a large, swollen lips like a fish. He looked clean and smelled of soap and detergent. "Hello," I said. "I'm Lisa. My mom's getting ready." "Nice to meet you," he said, holding out his hand. He followed me into the living room. I noticed that as he walked, his feet splayed out dramatically to either side. My mom called from the bathroom, "I'll be out in a minute." As we passed the bookshelf, I reached for the album of photographs of my birth. This was unplanned. It surprised even me. One arm jutting out as if I didn't have control of my limbs, and pulled it out of its socket in the shelf. I'd asked her to get rid of this album many times, and she refused, bringing it with us as we moved from house to house. The cover was made of brown woven grasses, and because it was old, the grasses had started to fray at the edges. To this hinted at the shame of the contents. I suspected other children's didn't have shameful books like this around their houses. He and I sat down on the flowered couch beside each other. "I want to show you something," I said. "Just some photos of my mother and me." I opened the book across my lap where he could see it. My mother, younger, lying on a bed with long hair like dark water pooling around her face. These were the pictures of my birth, in black and white, with rounded corners. She had what looked like a man's shirt buttoned around her chest, and she was naked from the waist down, with her legs bent and open in the foreground of the photo. I turned the page. There I was, emerging from between her glowing white legs like a turtle rising up from a pond. In the following pictures, once I was out, you could see my body wrinkled, my face wax white, asymmetrical, and squished. I felt revulsion and disgust. And yet, I continued to turn the pages. I would not have known how to articulate it. I wanted to disgust him the way I was disgusted, to scare him away, to show him who we were, so that he might leave now rather than wait. "And here's more," I said in my sweetest voice. "Yes," he said, "I see." He made no motion to rise and run. He sat, glancing at the pages, and then looking away, as if distracted, when my mother came out of the bathroom and saw us. She snatched the album from my hands and stuck it back in its place on the shelf, giving me a furious look.